Good evening, I'm Adrian Arsenault.
And I'm Andrew Chang. Tonight, time is almost up for Canada's rescue efforts in Afghanistan.
It's a disaster, it's a suicide to go there.
Stories of despair from those in danger of being left behind.
Also tonight, warnings that a youth basketball event was a COVID spreader.
We did everything we could do to prevent this outbreak.
Canadian Paralympians opened their games with a bang.
Keely, sure, perfectly executed race.
Reaction from athletes in Tokyo and family back home.
And a fight for equality lay on the strings of her famous racket.
I was just scared to death if I lost. We may lose everything we'd fought for.
5 decades later, Billie Jean King is still hitting hard. This is The National. For panicked people near the Kabul airport begging Canada to get them out of Afghanistan, and for their loved ones in Canada, days of desperation are giving way to a terrible realization.
The military lifeline is coming to an end. Tonight, we've learned the last Canadian flight out of Kabul is expected to be tomorrow. So far, Canadian planes have brought more than 2,700 people to safety, Canadian citizens, Afghan refugees, and other foreign nationals. And close to 1,000 Afghan refugees are also now safely in Canada.
But the worry tonight is for the fate of so many who were promised more, now left to fend for themselves under Taliban rule. Livia Stefanovic begins our coverage with the race against time in Kabul.
The desperation outside the Kabul airport makes it dangerous.
There is more than 20,000 or 30,000 people out here.
This former Afghan contractor with the Canadian Armed Forces is trying to reach the gate with his 4 kids.
It's a disaster, it's a suicide to go there.
Even with a Canadian visa in hand, he can't make it.
There is the possibility that we're not going to be able to bring everyone that we want to when the air bridge stops.
Federal ministers say the Canadian military continues to work inside and outside the wire, but a federal government source says the last flight out is expected to be tomorrow.
We would have liked to have stayed beyond the 31st deadline, but as you know, that this decision has been made by the Americans.
It's clear not everyone will escape.
In the coming days, this phase will end.
We are waiting here since morning from 6 a.m. till now.
Images like this of Canadian soldiers seemingly ignoring the pleas of Afghans have increased the scrutiny and criticism of the government.
These are the Canadian forces. They are not looking our visas.
That is a heart-wrenching video.
The defense minister says the situation is being reviewed and notes some Canadian soldiers are responsible for security while others assist with airport entry.
Canadian Armed Forces have been taking every opportunity they can in trying to get as many Afghans with the Canadian papers inside to the airport.
Opposition leaders blame the government for mishandling the evacuation.
We promised to have their backs, and now it looks like Canada's failed.
I would never abandon people as Mr. Trudeau has.
This advocate says a lack of coordination among Western agencies is adding to the chaos.
I'm pleading with the Canadian government to not abandon these people.
So, Olivia, what do we know about what happens after that last Canadian plane leaves?
Adrian, Canada, along with other G7 countries, is planning discussions with the Taliban in the coming days about how to treat those people who want to leave but have been left behind. The government says it's still committed to taking in 20,000 Afghan refugees, but first they need to leave Afghanistan. And last night the Taliban said it doesn't want any Afghans to leave.
All right, so difficult. Olivia, thank you.
Now, for those still stuck in Afghanistan, hope is giving way to fear about what could happen next. Stephen D'Souza spoke to some of those still trapped and to family members here in Canada, exhausting every option to get them out.
The crowds, a mass of confusion and desperation. The path to the airport crawling with Taliban. So after multiple attempts to leave, a Canadian stuck in Afghanistan is now laying low.
We are in hiding, we are keeping a low profile.
We're protecting his identity. He was visiting Afghanistan when the Taliban took over. He has approval from Canadian immigration, but getting to the designated meeting point has been impossible.
It's not safe. We waited like for 8 hours almost in the sun, so it was a chaos. There was no crowd management at all, so there were lots of beating happening.
As hope of escape fades for those with papers, those not even eligible face an even darker future.
I feel totally alone, like isolated and abandoned here.
We reached this man in Afghanistan. He worked for Canada as a translator for 3 months in 2008, then some international aid groups. Not enough to get approved, but enough to receive death threats from the Taliban. Canadian officials say they'll work with neighboring countries to try and help Afghans who make it out. But he says getting to the border by land is almost impossible.
Simply, I can say I'm waiting at home to come here. I'm waiting for Taliban to come to my home and kill me.
They have a serious danger.
Vancouver resident Zora Wise says a member of her family in Afghanistan is on a Taliban hit list. They're social and political activists, but have never worked for Canada. So she's cast her hope elsewhere.
Frankly speaking, my only hope is if Pakistan embassy helps.
Like so many fighting to get relatives out, it's taken a toll.
It's like, this is a situation when I feel guilty of even being here. Sometimes I feel like it was maybe better that I was in Afghanistan.
A heavy burden as she and so many watch the window for escape slam shut. Stephen D'Souza, CBC News, Toronto.
Turning to the COVID story now and the growing number of new cases across Canada. More than 3,300 people tested positive today. That continues an upward trend that started 8 days ago. Over 1,000 are in hospital, and that figure has also been rising since the middle of the month. More than a dozen cases in Quebec have now been traced back to a basketball tournament in Ontario. That event for at-risk youth is now being investigated for its COVID measures. Alison Northcott has the story.
Over just a few days earlier this month, the Jane and Finch Classic drew 100 teams and thousands of people from across the country. Now, public health officials say the event for 10 to 19-year-olds is linked to 25 cases of COVID-19, 16 in Quebec, 9 in Ontario, and it's urging anyone who is there to get tested.
Pretty sure that the COVID-19 protocols were not in place, so the risk of spread, of course, were magnified by the lack of masking, physical distancing. We don't know whether indoor gathering limits were observed.
Under Ontario's current rules, indoor events are limited to half capacity, up to a maximum of 1,000 people. Distancing is required, and so are masks, except while playing sports.
We went around and reminded people consistently to wear your mask.
This volunteer for the nonprofit organized event says they worked hard to follow the rules, but says it wasn't always easy.
We walked around, we put up signs. You couldn't enter without getting screened. We did everything we could do to prevent this outbreak.
Durham Public Health says its investigation is ongoing and it's considering legal action.
We've seen quite a few fines issued against mostly businesses, often restaurants, retail establishments.
This lawyer says the province could impose a fine against the organizers, but if an individual got sick at the event and wanted to sue, an Ontario law passed last fall would make that difficult.
Essentially limiting that kind of liability for businesses as long as they show that they made a good faith effort to comply with public health regulation.
Thomas says events like his are important for young people's mental health and says he's cooperating with public health officials. Alison Northcott, CBC News, Montreal.
Well, there's new evidence tonight that COVID vaccines can lose effectiveness. It's from a new study in the UK of these so-called breakthrough infections. The new data deepens an existing debate about booster shots. Vicadopia explains.
When they were first approved, clinical trials suggested vaccines could defeat the coronavirus. But new data from the UK put that assumption to the test. With more than 1 million vaccinated people tracked, it's one of the largest real-life studies of how well vaccines protect against infection. It found, for Pfizer, vaccine effectiveness dropped from 88% to 74%. AstraZeneca's protection slid from 77% to 67%. The study's authors conclude booster shots are now needed.
We can't just sit by and see the protectiveness slowly waning whilst cases are still high and chance of infection still high as well.
Missing from the UK data, how sick did those vaccinated people actually get? If they were mildly ill, booster shots may not be worth it. Last month, during the surge in cases in Los Angeles, the number of vaccinated people who also got sick did go up, but
the number of hospitalizations and the number of ICU admissions were tremendously less in the vaccinated people compared to the unvaccinated people, indicating that even though breakthrough infections happen, you're still protected from severe disease.
Nevertheless, the UK, US, and Israel are among those going ahead with booster shots, despite calls from the World Health Organization to hold off.
It's not conclusive in terms of its benefits.
In Canada, scientists are still weighing the need for boosters in older and immunocompromised people.
I don't think the level of waning that we're seeing in the average person, meaning, healthy adults, is at a point yet that would justify booster doses.
That means continued health measures for added protection. Vic Adopia, CBC News, Toronto.
Ontario insists it will not be adopting a version of a vaccine passport. That comes after a health official in Eastern Ontario said the province should eventually introduce a system similar to Quebec's. But one of the province's largest municipalities may go its own way.
At this time, Peel Public Health is also actively exploring with other health units what could be done locally on a vaccine certificate program, absent a provincial solution.
Right now, 3 provinces, Quebec, Manitoba, and British Columbia, are introducing vaccine passports. The federal government is introducing one for international travel.
Now, in line with new federal rules, Air Canada is making vaccination mandatory for all of its employees, and additional testing will not be an option for those refusing the shot. The airline says anyone who's not fully vaccinated by October 30th will face unpaid leave or even dismissal. The only exceptions, those qualifying for an exemption on religious or medical grounds.
Vaccine mandates have been a hot topic on the campaign trail. Protesters opposed to them hounded Liberal leader Justin Trudeau again today. More on that in a moment. But first, how the Conservative leader's position might stack up in some crucial electoral regions. Here's David Cochrane.
If Erin O'Toole is going to win this election, he needs to break through in Ontario, where the ground is shifting fast on the wedge issue of mandatory vaccines.
I will respect the personal health decisions of Canadians, and we can use rapid testing on a daily basis to make sure we all do our part to fight COVID-19.
That's been O'Toole's position from the start, but much of Ontario is quickly moving in a different direction. There's no provincial vaccine mandate, but high-risk health settings, major cities, police forces, amateur sports, even the liquor stores are mandating vaccines for employees. Ontario universities as well, after a letter signed by all 34 public health officers saying rapid testing protocols are not preventive and are not a replacement for immunization and should be used only in instances where vaccination is not possible.
If Erin O'Toole wants to be the leader of this country, I have to say it's not a good sign that he can't even convince his own candidates to get vaccinated.
It's a wedge the Liberals are keen to play, as the Conservatives refuse to say if all of their candidates are vaccinated, while even Premier Doug Ford has expelled an MPP from caucus for refusing the vaccine. And with unvaccinated Canadians fueling cases across the country, the attacks will escalate as schools open and unvaccinated children return to class.
This is something that is crucial, and really the big concern is our kids.
O'Toole is vaccinated and is personally pro-vaccine, but his policy of individual choice is the outlier among the main party leaders, who say that aggressive vaccine policies are the key to stopping the fourth wave and avoiding a fifth. David Cochran, CBC News, Ottawa.
Now, on this day 11 of the election race, it seems clear some protesters have targeted one of the campaigns. CBC News reporters have been traveling with all three main party leaders. Let's start tonight with Rafi Boudjikanian, who is in BC's Lower Mainland with Liberal leader Justin Trudeau.
That wedge the Liberals are keen to play on mandatory vaccinations has drawn anti-vaccine protesters to their campaign events, including today in Surrey, where Justin Trudeau announced a corporate tax increase on banks and insurance firms that post more than $1 billion in earnings.
We're going to ask big financial institutions to pay a little back, to pay a little more, so that we can do more for you.
Demonstrators never stopped yelling, including one man who identified as someone who was heckling the Liberal leader just yesterday in Hamilton, Ontario. The demonstrators followed the Liberal leader to his motorcade. Before leaving, he turned around and told one man, "Go get vaccinated."
I'm Evan Dyer in Hamilton, Ontario, where each of the three main parties believes wins are possible because they all have incumbents not seeking re-election. Erin O'Toole announced here that if elected, he'll give more money to the provinces for mental health treatment.
We won't bicker and fight with the provinces, but we will work with them as true partners on mental health, with the goal of giving more Canadians access to the vital mental health treatment they need, and more quickly.
O'Toole also said that a Conservative government will dedicate $1 billion to mental health care in Indigenous communities.
I'm Tom Perry with the NDP campaign in Windsor, Ontario. Affordability has become a big issue in this election. NDP leader Jagmeet Singh today vowed to reduce Canadians' phone and internet bills by forcing big telecom companies to cap their rates.
What it really takes is having the courage to do so. And what we've seen from Justin Trudeau and from the Conservatives is they are not willing to take on these powerful interests. They're not willing to take on the big telecom companies.
The Liberals promised in 2019 to lower Canadians' phone bills by 25%. Singh says they didn't deliver, but he's trying to convince voters that he will.
One person is presumed dead and another has been injured after a building partially collapsed at a North Vancouver work site.
This is a tragic incident. It's upsetting for people who live and work in this area, certainly.
Officials say the three-story building was in the midst of being demolished at the time of the collapse. Engineers have been brought in to secure what is still standing before investigators try to determine what went wrong.
Well, the pandemic forced coffee shops to use more paper cups and to create more waste, but things may be returning back to normal.
It feels almost like sometimes COVID-19 can be used as an excuse.
Coming up, one company has made the move to reusable once again. Will others follow suit?
And the woman who famously challenged misogyny on the court, Billie Jean King, speaks about fighting for change.
I was just scared to death if I lost. We may lose everything we'd fought for.
Plus,
the man featured on Nirvana's seminal album is suing the band over the image. We're back in 2.
welcome back. So it may sound like a little thing, but remember how before the pandemic we could just bring our reusable cups to buy coffee? That convenience went away when COVID showed up, but Starbucks says it's coming back. Cameron McIntosh explains how it will work and how that idea is going over.
That one for the road, now littering it. Even when they make it to the garbage, paper takeout cups are a big waste burden.
I'm gonna see if they'll fill up my reusable cup.
In 2019, Brenya Green made this video of McDonald's rejecting a reusable cup. It went viral and helped pressure McDonald's Canada to promise to accept refillable beverage containers in 2020. Then the pandemic hit.
A lot of environmental things went on the back burner during COVID-19.
Research firm Euromonitor estimates that last year, 2020, Canadians consumed 4.6 billion cups of coffee from food service establishments. 3 of the biggest, Starbucks, McDonald's, and Tim Hortons, didn't accept reusable containers that year. Tim Hortons, which accepted reusable cups pre-pandemic, says it's monitoring public health. McDonald's says the pandemic still has its reusable cup program on hold. But this week, Starbucks started again. Hand over a reusable container on a tray, they'll hand it back in a mug to reduce contact.
We have reimagined this from a very conservative, cautious approach for safety to a new way to do it and do it really well that offers extra layer of protection.
A mug is probably a very, very low risk object.
This expert says given the airborne nature of COVID, reusable coffee cups pose minimal threat.
We've learned very much that this disease is not driven by contact from person to person.
In the UK, McDonald's is piloting a reusable cup program where customers place a deposit. Some environmentalists would like to see that here.
It is okay to use reusable bags and reusable cups as long as you follow other, basic hygiene.
It feels almost like sometimes COVID-19 can be used as an excuse.
Meanwhile, those paper cups will just keep on pouring into the garbage. Cameron McIntosh, CBC News, Winnipeg.
Well, in other news, a man is suing the band Nirvana. He was the naked baby, chasing a dollar bill in a pool on the cover of one of rock's most iconic albums. Nevermind sold millions of copies around the world. Now 30 years old, Spencer Eldon alleges he never made any money from it, but should have. Now, Eldon has made headlines recreating the pose in recent years and has even spoken about how that cover opened doors for him.
Interesting cover because, I feel like it kind of portrays the situation kind of well.
But now he's seeking $150,000 from each of several Nirvana members, the record label and the photographer. And that's not all. He alleges the cover is child pornography. Nirvana has yet to respond to the allegations. Now, OnlyFans made its name as an online space where adults sold adult content. So it was a big shock when they recently announced a ban on sexually explicit material. But now it has done another 180, back to the way things were. The company said it originally put the ban in place because of pressure from banks and payment companies, but now it says it's received assurances from them that will allow it to continue to host explicit content. There was a lot of criticism of the ban from creators and subscribers, obviously, but also from advocates for sex workers.
Canada's Paralympic athletes reached the podium, and it's no surprise where.
Will it be the Russian swimmer? It's Gonta just ahead of Seidenfeld, and Rivas finishes third.
Well done. Coming up from the pool to the track, we'll tell you the incredible challenges these athletes overcame to compete in Tokyo. Plus, hold on.
She's pretty bold. An aspiring vet helps out, and not without a small touch of personal risk, I might add. Stay with us. Welcome back. Competition is heating up at the Paralympic Games in Tokyo, and it did not take long for Canadians to get on the podium. 2 medals on day one, both bronze, one on the cycling track, another in the pool. Sarah Levitt has more on day one's medalists.
Keely Shaw, perfectly executed race.
The first day of competition, the first on the podium for this country.
It is a bronze to Canada.
It's so heavy. I think it's probably the biggest bicep workout I've had in 3 years.
Saskatchewan's Keely Shaw, a first-time Paralympian, quick to prove she belongs here.
I can't even express how grateful I am to know that there's been so many people in Canada who stayed up late in order to watch me run this race and be able to cheer me on to a bronze medal.
Her win came as no surprise to Bruce Craven. He introduced Shaw to the sport.
Keely is extremely committed and dedicated to whatever process is in front of her. She was going there to medal.
In Montreal, Aurélie Rivard's identical twin sister Charlotte was a little on edge this morning.
Go! It's a new world record for Aurélie Rivard.
5 years ago in Rio, the swimmer from Saint-Jean-sur-Richelieu, Quebec, not only took home gold in the 50-meter, she set a world record. This morning,
It's Gonta just ahead of Seidenfeld, and Rivard finishes third.
Rivard's world record remains intact, but
Of course, it's not the color that I wanted, but I missed that moment. You know, I saw my flag going up there. I was like, I'm really lucky to be here, but it was just a lot of mixed emotion.
Disappointment from her, pride from her sister.
I'm glad she's been able to go on the podium because, you know, these games were the one where we didn't know what to expect at all.
But the games aren't over. Both Rivard and Shaw have chances for more medals.
It would be lying if I weren't expecting at least 2 gold medals.
Expectations then are high, but these women have already proven they can handle the pressure. Sarah Levitt, CBC News, Toronto.
The best tennis player of her day, the world #1, Billie Jean King, was unstoppable on the court. Coming up, the tennis star opens up about her more painful experience.
What makes people tick? They told me you can't talk about what you're feeling or thinking at all about your sexuality, or else we're not going to have a tour.
My conversation with Billie Jean King, next. Serena Williams has joined a growing list of tennis superstars to pull out of the upcoming U.S. Open. Williams made the announcement on social media saying she needed more time to heal from a torn hamstring. Her sister Venus, Roger Federer, and Rafael Nadal have also pulled out of the tournament. Now, before it does open, though, some lower-ranked players are playing their hearts out to get into the main draw. They are doing that at the Billie Jean King Tennis Center. Having that storied ground named after her, just one more way to pay tribute to a woman whose battles for equality in sport aren't a story of the past. They continue today as urgently as ever, and she is as determined as ever. It's a fool's game to try to single out the most meaningful honor ever given to Billie Jean King. More than enough that Elton John wrote the song Philadelphia Freedom about her, that President Barack Obama gave her the nation's highest honor. All that as spectacular as her 39 Grand Slam tennis titles. Plus, that win for the ages in the 1973 Battle of the Sexes against self-proclaimed chauvinist Bobby Riggs. And yes, there was a movie made of it, because of course there was.
$100,000 to any woman who can beat Bobby Riggs. Is she out there, and does she have the nerve?
To live that life of using sport to push for equality earns more than enough stories to fill the 500-page autobiography All In.
Do you like to write a lot? I guess you
Sure,
have to for
sure,
the show,
but
right?
Getting to those stories and her plans for what's next means first crossing the gauntlet of the Billie Jean King interrogation.
I can't believe where you traveled to. Did you play hockey as a kid?
No, no.
What do you like to do away from...
She fires off questions as swift as her serves. We sat down to talk, or try to talk, virtually.
How are you?
I'm extraordinarily well. This is the most exciting thing that's happened to me in a long time.
Really? You better get a better life going here.
I'm working on it. I'm working on it.
How'd you know you wanted to be a journalist? Then we'll get started. Sorry.
I'm going to get in trouble if I don't start asking you.
I know, I'm in trouble, you're in trouble. Go ahead, go for it, Adrian.
You know, I remember watching you with your blue suede tennis shoes were the most radical thing I think I'd ever seen in my life.
I had to argue with Adidas to do those. I argued with them like crazy in '72. I said, I want a colored pair. Because colored television had been there maybe 4 years, 3 years. And I didn't want to have all white in tennis anyway. I didn't think it was good for our sport. I had those shoes for the King Riggs match, which was great. It was fun.
I understand that love of hitting the ball and feeling the impact. But what I'm curious about is the first times when you realize the inequities in it. Like, what happened?
I was daydreaming at the Los Angeles Tennis Club when I was 12, and I realized everybody wore white shoes, white socks, white clothes. And everybody who played was white. And I thought to myself, where is everyone else? And that was the epiphany moment. That was what kind of put me on this course of equality the rest of my life. Money started to enter the picture later in my mind, that people understood money. And that would be a good way to try to help correct things.
Hard to fathom now, but in the late 60s, when Billie Jean King was #1 in the world, she wasn't earning enough to support herself. The men were fine. So she helped form a women's league, threatened boycotts to push for equality. Ultimately agreeing in 1973 to play in the Battle of the Sexes against former tennis champion and loudmouth Bobby Riggs.
The last shot sank into the net, and the old lion was a gracious loser.
She beat him in straight sets.
You have to talk about Bobby Riggs. It's impossible not to have the conversation.
You're correct.
Did you just want to deck him sometimes?
Just for maybe a moment or two, but I think he knew nothing about me. I knew a lot about him, but dominant groups know nothing about subdominant groups. This guy finally was getting some attention that he probably deserved a lot younger in life, so I got it. But when he got to be a little too much, I did call him, I said you're a jerk or you're a creep or something, and he got upset with me. But I was just scared to death if I lost. We may lose everything we'd fought for, and we just were getting started. And I knew we had 90 million people watching us in the world, that I knew that was my one opportunity.
Because I wondered if beyond the spectacle of it that is seared in people's minds, how important that moment actually was.
Ever since that match, particularly when I was younger, women would run up to me and say that changed their life, in that it gave them more self-confidence. It gave them the courage to maybe ask for a raise or ask for equal pay. Men come up to me, they're more calm and reflective, sometimes tears in their eyes. You know, I've had a daughter and a son, and I want my daughter to have equal opportunity with my son. And I don't know if I would have thought like that if I hadn't seen that match or experienced it.
It became clear to Billie Jean King what she did and said was all public fodder, including her most private struggles. While still with her husband, she had an affair with a woman. Then, in 1981, the woman blackmailed her, sued her, and outed her.
For someone who is so open and so strong, you were denied an opportunity to come out on your own terms. Like, I'm really sorry to read of what you went through, because it feels like that was stolen from you.
Yeah, that feels like it was stolen. Absolutely. I didn't get to do it on my own terms, and I always want everyone to be able to make any announcement about themselves, particularly if it's about their sexuality and how they identify, to be able to say it when they're ready. But I also was pushed further into the closet, because during the tour in the early 70s, they told me you can't talk about what you're feeling or thinking at all about your sexuality, or else we're not going to have a tour. And that made it, that made it simple, didn't it? I'm not going to say anything. I want the tour to make it. And this isn't just about me.
Is that why you wrote this book? Is this like a do-over in a way?
Now I'm older. I've lived a lot of life since the 70s. I have spent over 4 years on this. Constantly, every day, living it, thinking it, writing. And even when I did the audio part for the book, reading it, it was so overwhelming. And I'd stop and cry and put my my head on my hands, and then I'd get over it, and then we'd start again.
What were the tears for?
Reliving the things in this book, whether it's the sexuality, whether it's just trying to get equal pay. But these are my ups and downs. These are my journey, and maybe it'll help somebody.
What is it like for you now to watch these players, these women players, find their voices, the likes of the great Naomi Osaka, and say, hey, my terms. I'm going to try to do this on my terms.
No, for me, it's wonderful. This is what we fought for, that we'd have a platform so women could talk and say what's on their mind and try to push the envelope. Naomi is doing that, which I think is fantastic. But I do think that when a person wants to be a professional athlete, which we are a performer, we're in the entertainment business, that talking to the media is extremely important, because without you, we wouldn't be making the money we make.
But to her point about, that when the cameras come after a match that maybe you haven't done well in, and you are in that lonely moment, is there not a cruelty there?
I always looked at each person that was a journalist there, a writer, And I would say, well, this is what they do for their job, just like I play tennis for my job. So to me, we were in this together. Are you going to get some jerks? Absolutely. You're going to get a few, but they're very few. But it's very important not to take things personally either.
Have you had this conversation with Naomi Osaka?
No, I have not yet. We do text and all that, but I try to stay out of it. I mean, if she wants my opinion, I will give it to her. But the most important thing with any human being that I know is I want them to be all right, emotionally, mentally, physically, and spiritually.
I see that desire in you to keep pushing and changing. I mean, there's a reason why it's the last line in your book, the we're not done yet.
You know, equality and equity starting to be talked about a lot more the last few years, finally. I'm like, oh, finally. Women have to be perceived as leaders for everyone, not just for women. But in my heart and mind, because I grew up with a brother, been married to a male, been married to a female, I'm for everybody. So, and we've got transgenders, we're not in a binary world anymore. We have to think differently. And the young ones, I really have faith in them. I think they're going to do great.
Thank you very much. You take care.
Thanks, Adrian.
All right. Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Well, that was such a great conversation, Adrian. And correct me if I'm wrong, does she not seem like the kind of person who could just pick up a racket tomorrow morning and play with the exact same ferocity, intensity, determination?
She'd demolish everybody. There's no slowing down of any kind for her. She's really loud when she needs to be. She is quietly very supportive of the athletes. They all know that they can reach out to her, and they do. And she has all these extraordinary stories and these little details about her. Did you know, I didn't know this, her brother, Randy Moffat, was a pitcher for the Toronto Blue Jays.
Wow, yeah.
I mean,
wild
an amazing family.
Yeah, no, that's incredible. Okay, still to come. If you've seen Princess Bride, and I know a lot of you have, this is an iconic scene.
My name is Inigo Montoya. You killed my father. Prepare to die.
Well, coming up, actor Mandy Patikin confirms a heartbreaking detail about the scene after one woman's very moving video. Plus,
made it!
Travel obstacles and quarantine didn't stop this family from finally reuniting. Their touching story is next.
I'm Jamie Poisson, and tomorrow on CBC's daily news podcast, Front Burner, as case counts rise across the country, health experts warn that the COVID-19 fourth wave is very much here. But who will bear the brunt of it? Subscribe wherever you get your podcasts.
welcome back. All week on The National, we are bringing you stories of reunions, the kind the pandemic had made all but impossible. And after almost 2 years, the Alkouatli family was so ready to reunite. Bags packed, ready to go, ready to hug again. You know the feeling. But that first moment back together was not quite what they expected.
We're excited about our journey because this is going to be the first international trip that we're going to take after 2 years of not seeing our family in Canada. We made it!
The pandemic has shown us that life changes, life is short. Our kids are growing up so fast.
I'll be meeting my daughter Claire, her husband, and the 3 children at the Vancouver airport.
Okay guys, yalla. Unfortunately, the kids have to quarantine for 14 days.
Dejectedly, we left the airport. We couldn't hug my mother.
I know, we're supposed to hug. No, we're not. My name is Claire. I was born and raised in Vancouver.
I'm Sadi Alkouatli. I'm a creative director working for an advertising agency in Saudi Arabia. And I'm married to Claire.
I'm Brenda Hochachka, and I am a widow, and I live in Vancouver. What I miss the most about having the family close is hearing what they're thinking about and their opinions on things, because they're maturing so fast, and I haven't seen them since they left in August 2019, which I would never have anticipated when I said goodbye to them then.
One thing that I really love about spending time with my mom when she's older is that I just really enjoy her company.
And I want to go to Canada to see all of my friends, to see my grandma
because she's been alone for a long time.
I really want to see my grandmother because she kind of helped me develop in certain ways, especially my identity. We're leaving at 2 a.m. Tonight. So tomorrow, technically, but tonight we're leaving to the airport.
We're leaving our compound, and these kids are really gonna miss us.
Bye.
Bye. Assalamu alaikum.
Bye.
Are you excited?
Yes.
To go to Canada? We're gonna take Lufthansa and we're gonna spend 4 hours in Frankfurt, a layover. The next flight will be like 11 hours to Vancouver. Hey, we landed, guys.
The mountains of my childhood.
Okay, this is filming.
Why don't I start with, so things didn't go exactly as we had planned. We knew that there was a great possibility that the kids would have to quarantine because they're not vaccinated, even though they've already had COVID. So we arrive at the airport, present our papers, only to have her tell us they need to do a 14-day strict quarantine. How many days in Canada? Any other countries besides
6 weeks.
Can you not film me filling this out, baby? I'm feeling really depressed right now. We waved from a distance and we chit-chatted, but we were sort of sad.
No hugging.
So then we took a taxi to Whistler and we spent the next 2 weeks in quarantine.
Mom, look, you want to see Vancouver? Stop! Ah!
Yay, we can finally hug.
We were so happy in the end to finally be able to reunite with our family. And so here we are at Tofino, the West Coast Vancouver Island.
As much as it is about visiting family, it's also about reminding our kids where one of their homes is.
Are we gonna walk to the cliff?
Now to another connection, this one made over the internet. It involves the cult classic, The Princess Bride, and a story that brought a fan together with one of the film's biggest stars.
Okay, so I'm gonna try to do this without crying.
It all started on TikTok after a fan posted a story about her late father.
Inigo Montoya was his favorite character from the film, played by the wonderful Mandy Patinkin.
She says when her dad died from cancer, she found new meaning behind an iconic scene.
I want my father back, you son of a bitch.
I saw on the internet the rumor that when Mandy Patinkin said that line, he was thinking of his own father who had passed away from cancer.
Well, the internet did its thing, and that video made its way to the man behind the famous line.
If this ever does reach Mandy Patinkin, just thank you so much for your performance in that movie because it meant so much to me and my dad.
As for the rumor, it's been confirmed.
It is true, 100% true. I said I'm going to do this part because in my mind, if I get this six-fingered guy, that means I kill the cancer that killed my dad and I'll get to visit my dad. And that moment was coming. When I played that scene with Chris, and then I went back out there and talked to my dad.
Such a touching connection. And even all these years later, that grin, so recognizable from all those years ago. Okay, up next, when you see a skunk, your first thought might be to run away, but not for this Ontario team.
You're okay. Hold on. You're okay.
Is she a skunk whisperer? Our moment is next.
Okay, I got it.
Okay, now let's jump out of the net.
So this is Sophie Wilson, aspiring veterinarian and now rescuer of skunks. When she saw one in need of help, she did not miss a beat.
Good job.
And get this, she saved not one, but 2 skunks in the last week, helping to free them from pieces of garbage that they got trapped in. Her story is our moment.
I was just out with my friends at the park, just sitting on the swings, and I saw a skunk go kind of under the playground. And then I saw it come out and it had this cup all around its head. And I just kind of knew that I had to do something. I was able to take the cup off, but the lid was stuck on there really tight. And I followed it around for almost an hour just trying to get the lid off. But then it ran into someone's backyard. And my dad said that he would come with me and he would help. So then the next night I went over and I was able to find it again and catch it, and then I was able to cut off the lid. Grabbing it was going to be like really tricky because they're really squirmy, especially when they're little, and I didn't want to get, bit or scratch. The towel was just kind of to make sure, like, if it sprayed, it didn't go all over me. I've always loved animals. So, like, when I see one that's, like, hurt and I can do something about it, I just feel like I need to do something about it.
Wow. So I mean, clearly no fear there, right?
No.
And she talks about the towel to make sure that she doesn't get sprayed. She did actually get sprayed, though, on one of the rescues, and she said it smelled terrible, as one would expect. But she wouldn't have changed the
Well, she can handle it.
Yeah.
She also, I love this, she named him Sir Stinky, clearly, very good reason. And
Sure.
she said, this is all our fault because we throw out so much stuff in the public garbage bins. The animals crawl in there, they get stuck all the time, and she's mad at us. And I get that. That is a national for August 25th. Good night.
Good night.